Vindication Swim.
We are not turning back!
She'll never make it!
She has to try!
I'm a man. Xavier, you need to broaden your horizons and become a feminist. Feminism? Oh boy! What's that? The bane of society's existence. Vindication Swim, or The Feminist Wet Dream, as I like to call it, is a film about the first British woman to ever swim across the English Channel. Written and directed by Elliott Hasler, one of the youngest filmmakers in Britain. Point one to the patriarchy? Hasler is responsible for this biographical drama, and damn it, he did an amazing job. This film really makes me want to go through his filmography and really appreciate... I think we should just stick to the woman trying to vindicate herself. Yeah, so the history of the project seemed to have been a bit of a rocky road. While the concept was simple, it required a lot of patience and good timing, especially in the water. The production started filming in 2019, then promptly stopped with the release of COVID. However, it didn't seem to affect the production as much as other films at the time. Mercedes and her coach, Harold Best, played by Kirsten Callahan and John Locke respectively, were already cast. And quite a few scenes filmed in various East and West Sussex locations were already completed. Which includes one of the greatest scenes in cinema history, because it has an actor whose skills were the stuff of legends. And mullets. So, me and this film have a little bit of history, and when I say history, I mean give me my Academy Award because I'm in the movie, bitch! This footage actually doesn't do justice to my acting here. Plus, I stopped recording because I thought they cut my bit. But here I am, scrawny and all. Wouldn't be the same film without it. Now I'll have to wait a year for it to get a DVD release to show you the damn scene, but maybe that's for the best, as I don't think the film has reached the high expectations I set for it back in 2019. So I guess the question lies in how good it is and if it's worth seeing, and that's where the Oscar-nominated Xavier Rippon can come in to tell you that Vindication Swim is... fucking women everywhere! So there's water, and then there's scenes, and then there's, you know, it's like... It's alright. This is actually the reaction my girlfriend had after seeing it. Women, am I right? Which kind of sums up the movie for casual goers, because there really isn't any reason to see Vindication Swim outside of the true story, which is more or less phenomenal. Mercedes Gleitze is one of the most inspirational and genuinely fearless women the world had. She swam the Channel, an idea which many Brits had thought of at one point or another, and she was the first of all British women to accomplish it. Trying to do something and failing is something that just doesn't happen as much as it used to. Everything is calculated and the risks are taken in, and if we don't like those odds, then we quit. But she never did. Sure, she failed countless times, even when she needed it most. The name, Vindication Swim, is just that. Mercedes, in a court of law, decides to wager a bet. She attempted to vindicate herself to prove that any woman with enough willpower and firm tenacity can conquer anything, and in turn show everyone that being a woman isn't a handicap, and that women are just as capable as men. Point one to the feminists. Elliott Hasler has really struck gold with this film. From start to finish, it is a visual treat that just keeps on giving, especially when at sea. The vivid colours and greys of the English weather create a truly perilous journey. unlike anything I've seen. Even casual conversations like the adjudicator telling Mercedes' water crew how much time she has left and that the storm is getting too strong for them to go any further. And all of that can just feel so tense because all you want is for her to succeed. But there's always something in the way.
It's all authentic. So I trained in the same way she trained. And in the film, I wear a 100-year-old swimming costume from the time. So every time I got out of the water, it had to be re-sewn up. It was, nothing. And I had motorcyclist goggles on because that's what they had at that time, so you couldn't see. And the swimming hats were aviator style because that was what was in fashion, so I couldn't hear either. So there was lots of different challenges.
On land, however, is where attention to detail really starts flourishing, with aspects like faithful 1920s character designs and set pieces, as well as a colour palette swap between black and white for more focus on conversations, and full vivid colour. Mercedes Gleitze and Harold Best have a certain look about them, which creates a juxtaposition between their past and their present selves. Harold is rough with wrinkles and bizarre facial features, while Mercedes is soft and pale with shine on her nose. I thought the film going from black and white to colour would be a catastrophe in the making. Following a film like Blonde that even had changing aspect ratios on top of the former, but it's worked into the movie seamlessly and elevates the drama to new heights as a result. And the soundtrack is stellar! Each song in the film invokes a certain vibe and really captures the essence of intense undertaking that Mercedes is trying to achieve. If anything, I would recommend this film purely for the music alone because it perfectly translates the visuals at any given moment. You may be hearing all this and think, wow, he must really love this film! However, that being said, let the bitching commence! This film is unremarkably remarkable. Elliott Hasler has really shot himself in the foot with this film in regards to the audience he wants to attract, because the only people I see inherently getting any sort of value out of this title is the people of Sussex. And even then, I feel like there's more value in just doing your own research. Mercedes' childhood and how she got into swimming, as well as much deeper character development with the surrounding cast, especially Harold Best. It's just sorely lacking in this film, or in some cases borderline missing. And that does bring the experience to being more of a one and done rather than something that keeps on drawing you back. Every scene serves one purpose, which means the film is very conservative with the content it has. It glides from one generic interaction to another, with some impressive water-based shots and tense action to string together a boring structure. It gets to the point where if any scene was to be taken out, it would fundamentally destroy the structure of the entire drama. But that's a hard feat to pull off in practice because the structure of the narrative is ripped from every single sports film imaginable. That's a pretty major problem. It feels like it should be a bigger deal. It's fine being the short, simple film that it is, and it's still a feature length at the end of the day. It's not like it's missing crucial content per se, but I would say the option to have it expanded is there and becomes more noticeable the longer you watch. Eddie the Eagle and Cool Runnings are two films I like to bring up a lot to showcase the downsides to limiting a sports-based narrative. An athlete is determined to win big in their chosen sport, but suffers from a series of unavoidable obstacles that leads them to find alternative ways of doing what they need to do to progress with their main objective. So in turn, they seek the help of a coach who has pioneered that field of the sport, but over the years has let themselves go and have taken to various forms of body abuse like smoking, drinking and drugs.
That guy won 2 gold medals?
We call that one the D trifecta. The two meet and the coach refuses for various reasons, and then decides to help after the athlete's multiple attempts, as well as some sort of personal drama that affected them in their sport many years ago. Can you see where I'm heading with this? These films have nearly the exact same plot structure, bar their respective sports, genre, and just, seriousness. Which leaves Vindication Swim in a strange place because it just doesn't have the content that makes a film like Eddie the Eagle so special and unique. Nothing in this film warrants a rewatch outside of the brilliant story. I understand that not all films need to be this big reinvention of the wheel, and coupled with the smaller budget, kind of makes this review pointless, because you can't really complain about an indie film that has told a unique, true story by a young filmmaker who has clearly been inspired by so many of the great biopics. I'm not going to score this film, because it has achieved what it set out to do. And it's one of those films which will inspire more women than it does men. And I'm glad that films as of late have been going with this narrative, especially when this title links it to a genuinely amazing achievement made by a courageous and driven woman, Mercedes Gleitze. This is the type of film that needs to be made more often, regardless of my stance on it. Nitpicks aside, this is a good film and worthy of your time. If you are British, if you reside anywhere else, don't even bother going to watch it. It was better than the Emoji Movie.
Do you sound like to me? I'm in the film.
Look at that.